way of, saying which are two sectors that are doing very well. Typically, the way investors would look at it, saying pick two sunrise sectors, do something in between them, and as those sectors grow, you will grow with it. If you remember 2008, malls were starting to open up, a lot of retailers were expanding, even international retailers in India as well as the domestic brands. So we said we'll do something in retail, and then the other area we thought was mobile. That the mobile story in India has been ubiquitous for many decades now. So we said let's pick retail and mobile and do something in between them. Right? This was it was August 11, 2008 when we started. Now, if you all remember, September 11th was when Lehman Brothers tanked. There was a global recession. The stock markets fell. There was a pretty bad next year or so was pretty bad. And in this period, we were going around asking retailers and asking mobile companies that, look, we can build good software. We're from IIT. Tell us what problems you have, right? And what we heard from a lot of folks was the Diwali that year was pretty bad. Stock markets were down, and the general sentiment we got was, look, customers aren't coming back to stores. So if you bring customers back to stores, we might be interested in what you're trying to build, right? So, and that's how we got into the loyalty management space. So, what is loyalty management? Loyalty management is, I'm sure all of you have gone to a retail store, got points or coupons for for coming to the store, or if you've flown an Indigo, they have this thing called Blue Chip, where every time you fly, you get points which you can redeem later, right? So, or if you stayed at the Taj, they have this Taj in a Circle thing, right? So, any kind of a long-term retention program for customers, right? So that's what we do. So today, if you look at us, an Indigo Blue Chip runs on us, Air India Express, their loyalty program runs on us. The Tata Group has New Coins, which is their program across the Tata Group that runs on us. If you've gone to a Pantaloons or to a Louis Philippe, Atibullah Fashion, their brands also use us, right? So that's how we started. We started with loyalty management back in 2008. All kinds of points, coupons, rewards, recognition, tiers, things like that is what our software manages for these brands, right? So we did this in India for the first 4 years, 2008 to 2012. We were focused only on India as a market, won a lot of customers, the business was doing well. Around 2011 was when one of our customers, Puma, their MD of India became their MD of Asia. And then he pegged us to saying, why don't you do this for us in a Singapore and in a Middle East, right? So that's how we went out and did our first international markets. We opened an office in Singapore, and Anand moved to Singapore. We opened an office in Middle East, in Dubai. The next 7-8 years was really just Asia, India, Middle East, and Southeast Asia were our primary markets. We were doing about 10 crores of revenues in 2011. That scaled to about 200 crores by 2020 across Asia markets. And then COVID hit. At that point in time, we were working only with retailers. The lockdowns went, all retail stores were shut. And so our revenue stumbled, our cash flows went off by 80%. In 2020 is when we realized that, I think, you need to build a global business. US, Europe are more resilient. So in 2020, we opened up US and Europe as markets. What we also did was we took a few pivots. Instead of doing only retailers as customers, we also started working with conglomerates like the Tatas. We also started working with, Polycab, people like Polycab, consumer goods companies, airlines and hotels, Taj and Indigo, right? So basically, it's expanded the number of verticals. The third thing we did was we said during COVID, the only customers who continued to pay us were the large enterprises. The smaller customers, their stores were shut, so they couldn't. So we also made a very natural pivot to saying we'll focus on the very large customers going forward, right? So, cut to today, over the last 3-4 years, we in COVID went down from 200 to about 120 crores in FY21. We've now gone back all the way to about 600 crores last year. First half of this year, we've done 720 crores in revenue, so it's been a good 5-6x growth from in the last 4 years in that sense. Retail also, although still continues to grow for us, is today about 30% of our revenue. You know, it used to be 100% of our revenue before COVID. Now it's come down to 30%. A lot of other verticals like, you know, healthcare, travel, conglomerates have kind of grown well for us. Finally, we decided to focus on large enterprises in COVID. Today, we work with 19 of the Fortune 500. Fortune 500 is the top 500 companies in the world. We work with 19 of them. So it's been an interesting, you know, journey over the last 3-4 years.
Details about the company. We work with about 100 brands, 100 companies in the form of 400 plus brands today, with operations from US to Japan. About 55% of our business comes from US today, about 15% from Europe and the rest from Asia. So the business is well spread out in different parts of the world. In terms of the customers, it's a solution which is designed for large enterprises, and we handle a scale which is probably one of the largest in the world from loyalty point of view. So about 1.8 billion consumers on the platform. We process about 7 billion transactions annually, and $1 trillion plus of commerce flew through our platform last year. In terms of employees, we have 700 plus employees globally. Again, our tech centers are based in Bangalore and Mysore. That's where we have majority of the employees, and then we have about 150 employees in the US, about 50 in the Europe, and the rest in Asia. The other way to understand about loyalty is to look at what independent analysts talk about loyalty as a space. And best way to figure out all the players in the loyalty space is a Forrester way. They do a deep study across 100 plus loyalty providers, and they pick top 14 out of that every year. And of the top 14, they evaluate all those 14 on 28 different parameters. In the last wave that Forrester published, we were in the top 2. And if you pick any other reports like that of Everest or Peak Metrics, you would find Capillary in the top 2. The place where it also helps us is that they refer Capillary in a lot of cases, and today more than 50% of our business comes inbound to us through referrals from independent analysts or system integrators or independent consultants.